Wednesday morning, everybody. I hope and pray that you are doing well this Wednesday. While I'm recording it is morning. You might not be watching this till the afternoon or maybe even the evening, and it might not even be Wednesday when you're watching this, but I hope you're having a good one, whatever day and whatever time it is. And I pray that you are thankful, that you are grateful for everything that our God does for us and the ways that He provides for us. Go ahead, grab a Bible, open it up to Proverbs chapter 14 as we begin our Wow Time Wisdom on Wednesday, as we continue our way through the book of wisdom. And we're going to be in chapter 14 again today. We're going to do, I think, 4 verses. And we'll see how time goes with that. But we're going to begin in verse 28. Proverbs 14, verse 28. Join me as I read here. It says, "In a multitude of people is the glory of a king, but without people a prince is ruined." It's an interesting proverb that we have here, and I know I say that a lot, but they are. There's quite a few that are interesting. But this is one that I think we can call a kingly proverb that deals with a king. But I think we can also apply it maybe to our lives as church leaders or leaders in our communities or even leaders in our families as well. Look at it again. Let's consider it. "In a multitude of people is the glory of a king." How much is a king worth if he has no people to rule over? Okay, there's no kingdom, right? It's really worthless to give him the title of king if there are no people to rule over. Solomon knew this well, and Solomon had people to rule over. But when you consider whenever Solomon died, in our Sunday morning class here at the Panhandle Church of Christ, we've been going over 1 Kings. And so here just recently, we've covered the portion where Solomon dies, and then the kingdom is turned over to Rehoboam. But of course, punishment for Solomon for allowing other gods into Israel, part of that kingdom is ripped away from his son, from Rehoboam. But Rehoboam tries hard not to allow that to happen. But he's very unsuccessful. And one of the reasons that he was unsuccessful, besides the point that it was God's will for it to happen, is that the people of the northern kingdom asked him to have a lighter burden upon them than what his father gave them. And Rehoboam, no, it won't be lighter, but it will be heavier. If you thought my father was tough, you haven't seen anything yet. Okay, and they didn't like that. And so, of course, they didn't stay with him. They had no desire to stay with him. And, of course, we knew that wouldn't happen because that was not God's will. That was not God's plan for that to happen. But I think about that when I see this proverb, because Solomon says, "In a multitude of people is the glory of a king." So if Rehoboam would have had the whole kingdom, he would have had more glory, if you will. But notice the second part of verse 28. "But without people, a prince is ruined." And I think so much about that with Rehoboam. How do you feel when a kingdom that your grandfather had, that your father had, and especially for your father, just took it to new heights? And when you start to rule, it's not even half the kingdom it was with your father. And so, without people, a prince is ruined. And so in any type of leadership, the people are important. Whether it's in government, whether it's in church, whether it's in our family, whatever it is important to consider the people. And if a king doesn't do that, he's ruined because he won't have the people. Notice how the Message translates this verse. I like it. It says, "The mark of a good leader is loyal followers. Leadership is nothing without a following." How true is that? If you're a leader and you have nobody following you, you're not really a leader at all, are you? You're just alone. All right, look at verse 29 with me. It says, whoever is slow to anger has great understanding, but he who has a hasty temper exalts folly. And we've talked about this through the book of Proverbs before. And about the danger of having a temper or having great anger, if you will, or a hasty temper. And that temper exalts folly. But one who is slow to anger, he has great understanding. He can think about a situation and what is going on and decide what is a wise way to deal with it. The Message translated this way: slowness to anger makes for deep understanding. A quick-tempered person stockpiles stupidity. That's an interesting way to phrase that, right? Have you ever done that? Have you ever stockpiled stupidity? That's what happens with one who is quick-tempered. That is quick to throw gasoline upon a small flame, if you will. And there is embarrassment that comes with it. There is folly that comes with that as well. Okay, we're not going to spend too much time, because we have before, on the dangers of being quick-tempered. I want us to move on to verse 30. I think it's an interesting proverb. English Standard Version translates it this way: a tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes bones rot. Think about that for a moment. I'll go ahead and read for you the Message translation. It says, a sound mind makes for a robust body, but runaway emotions corrode the bones. And I do think that this is a way that maybe we could translate this, where the ESV says a tranquil heart. You could have a tranquil mind, might be a better way to put it, or a healing mind gives life to the flesh. And I think we understand that more and more as, I don't know if I want to say our culture evolves, but as we understand more about the body, and as we understand more about the mind, and we understand how they are connected together, and what happens with the mind affects what happens with the body. If you are deeply depressed, if you are angry a great deal, or if you're happy, or if you're joyous, it affects your body in different ways. Right? Okay, if you're depressed, if you're angry, your blood pressure goes up, and bad things happen on the inside of your body. And if you're depressed, maybe you don't exercise the way you should. Maybe you don't eat the way that you should. And so it affects your body. And likewise, what's affecting your body as you do those things, maybe your body starts to hurt, you start to have more problems, and then it affects up here again. And so maybe you just get more depressed, and it's just kind of a cycle. Okay? But a tranquil mind gives life to the flesh. So if your mind is good, it gives life to the body. But envy, or you could say jealousy, makes the bones rot. So what is bad up here is bad for the body as well. All right, notice verse 31 with me, and this is where we're going to end today. Says this: whoever oppresses a poor man insults his maker, but he who is generous to the needy honors him. Okay? Message puts it this way: you insult your maker when you exploit the powerless. When you're kind to the poor, you honor God. And it hasn't been that long ago that we talked about this, about how we treat the poor. But I like the way that Solomon puts it here. He puts God in the middle of it. And I don't know if most people think about that when they take advantage of the powerless, or they take advantage of those who are poor, or they take advantage of those that can't defend themselves, whether it's in a physical way, emotional way, or even a spiritual way, which is very, very sad. Whoever oppresses a poor man insults his maker. One thing, especially as Christians, we do not want to do is insult our maker. I don't know if you noticed, but maybe in your Bible, the word maker has a capital M there, which signifies that that is God. We don't want to insult our maker, but the way that we treat other people, we can do that. And so if we do not treat people, even if they are not like us, even if they are poor or if they are powerless or maybe they are a different race, it insults our maker. It insults their maker, which, by the way, is the same one. So, of course, we do not want to do that. But notice the second part of the proverb, but he who is generous to the needy honors him. So when we are generous to the poor or to the powerless or to those who are in need, it honors God. And don't we want that much more than we want to insult God? I mean, really? Do you want to insult the creator of the universe? Do you want to go there? No, of course not. We want to honor him because he is deserving of honor. So the way that we treat others brings honor to God, because that's what he would do. You know, if you consider Jesus with his time on this earth, how did he treat the poor? How did he treat the powerless? How did he treat those that society, looked at and said, that's a worthless person. Maybe I can take advantage of them somehow. Maybe I can get a little something by taking advantage of them. No, you insult the master. You insult the maker when you do that. But whenever you are generous to them, okay, it honors God. When I was thirsty, you gave me water. I think that's somewhere in the Bible. I think Jesus said that somewhere. And it's true. So let us honor God today with the way that we treat people. And let us not look down upon people because they're in a different situation, because of the color of their skin, because of their education. But let us treat them in a way in which we honor God by the way that we treat them. All right, that's today's lesson. I hope it's been a blessing to you. And I know it has been to me. I hope and pray that you have a great rest of this week. If there's something I can pray for you about, send me a message, let me know, and I'll be glad to do that. You might pray for my voice. It's just kind of going in and out a little bit, but that happens sometimes, especially when you talk. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. I don't know about you, but summer is in full effect here in Panhandle, Texas, especially now that we are in June. So enjoy the day. If you're able to get out, get a little sunshine, enjoy it, and thank our God that he's given it to us. God bless. See you next time.